Hello, and welcome to In the Spotlight, the show that brings you unknown underground artists and puts them in the spotlight. I'm Ryan Scibetta, our engineer and editor is Quill, and our DJ organizer is Medex. This week's Spotlight Artist of the Week is Midnight Merc, who's going to be joining us for an interview as we discuss and play each song that he has wonderfully presented to KCSB. Feel free to say hi.
Hi, I'm Brandon G, aka Midnight Mercenary. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Relatively speaking.
Of course. Everything
you're hearing right now, listener at home or in your car or whatnot, is pseudo live. So we're doing this all in one take. But, given that it's COVID time, the songs are being sliced together in between the interview by our editor, Quill. So you're getting pretty much as close to live as you can get. This particular episode is being recorded September 13th, 2020. The songs have been performed before then. Depends on the song, obviously. Without further ado, let's hear the first song, Cursed by Midnight Merc.
Please, I'm far too gone. I've lost my way, I'm on my own. I gave my all, and now I'm broke. She's cursed my name and drowned my soul. Whoa. All the curses on me trying to tear apart my soul. I can't let my past define my future where I go. Head above the water, I'm relying on the bros. Use me and abuse me, why I don't even know. Am I meant for nothing, not the destiny I chose? They say it gets better and I tell them I suppose. But I can't take no more if they can't see I do the most. It's not worth it, I've been losing on my hoe. Pray for me and throw on top of me a row. Baby, give me one more reason just to stay. So I'm begging on my knees saying, Please, I'm far too gone. I've lost my way, I'm on my own. I gave my all, and now I'm broke. She's cursed my name and drowned my soul. Cycle of pain, baby, no, I can't change. Is it my fault? Is there someone to blame? Tell me the truth and I'll show him his place. I made my home in a land of disgrace. Monsters inside me that I can't contain. Can't go outside cause I'm stuck in my ways. Trapped in my mind and they say I'm deranged. It's not worth it, I've been losing on my hoe. Pray for me and throw on top of me a row. Baby, give me one more reason just to stay. So I'm begging on my knees saying, Please, I'm far too gone. I've lost my way, I'm on my own. I gave my all, and now I'm broke. She's cursed my name and drowned my soul.
That was Cursed by Midnight Merc. The song was called Cursed. The song was not cursed. You'll still be alive in 7 days. So my first question about this one is the sort of vocal style that you used, where you put heavy auto-tune and use that while you slid your voice around to sort of get this like stair-stepping effect. I was wondering what the thought process was behind putting that in, and if there was any other vocal techniques that you use to try to get the sound you wanted?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I'm heavily like influenced by a lot of different artists, but I think the main influence for this one was like a lot of SoundCloud artists like Lil Mosey, Lil Skies, and Juice WRLD mainly. And so that's definitely like where the heavy autotune and very SoundCloud-esque beat comes from. And I had been mixing vocals for a while at that point, so I really like to experiment with a lot of different, pitch correction, or just plugins in general. And for this particular song, I had layered it with like the main vocal, and then I think I had a backup where it was like I had this weird panning thing between the right and left side, so it gave the vocal some depth, as well as this monster layer which added like a lot of the deeper tones. So all three of those combined kind of helped to add just a lot of presence and dimension to that vocal, and I just really liked it once I heard it. So I was like, might as well keep it for the whole song, and I just really liked it as it was.
Fantastic. Adding on to that with the monster level, I also noticed the sort of like bass call and response, where you have like a lower pitched version of your own melody playing as an echo.
Right. Yeah.
Was that the monster level, or was there some other technique?
I think it was a bit of a mix of the monster and the backup, which was kind of a delay. So it's like it gives one of either the left or the right side like a millisecond delay, so it just gives the vocal more dimension, doesn't sound as flat. So I think it was a bit of both of those.
All right, let's hear song 2, Dark Days by Midnight Merc.
Surreal.
The past is like a story that we made up. Every time I'm getting stuck with all this fake love. On my calendar I'm marking all these dark days. You were not there by my side when I lost place, and I'm gonna take this all the way. Would you hold me if I lost my faith? It's all lies, you said you'd be here always. Are you the one who's gonna take away the pain? Say my name, you tryna pull me in the past, say I'm the one to blame. It's been a long time ever since we parted ways. I'm tryna find my path, but it'll never be the same. Too many chains, check the closet, got dripping abundance. Can't trust no one, if I do I'ma get punished. Reach for my chain, shawty, you know you can't touch this. Play in the rain, watch I make go flooded. It's all in a day while they push my buttons. I look down on them, you know that I am above them. Bring home that bag, do it for all of my cousins. Dark days, hard times, hit me like concussion. Like a concussion, I saw my brothers, stay in your lane. You cannot love them. Dark days, hard times, they know my name through the night. The past is like a story that we made up. Every time I'm getting stuck with all this fake love. On my calendar I'm marking all these dark days. You were not there by my side when I lost place, and I'm gonna take this all the way. Would you hold me if I lost my faith? It's all lies, you said you'd be here always. Are you the one who's gonna take away the pain?
That was Dark Days by Midnight Merc. Well, on the previous track, Cursed, we talked a lot about the music production behind the vocals. Here I'm very interested in the lyrics themselves. What's the story behind this track?
Yeah, I knew we were going to get to that. So so Cursed, Dark Days, and a couple other songs were all part of the same EP kind of, and I recorded that EP during my days in when I was in the dorm actually. So I brought all my recording equipment there, and just that whole lifestyle change kind of made me think a lot about the past and what kind of brought me there. And I guess a lot of people who listen to my music would realize that like I really try to go deep into the emotional side of it, and Curse and Dark Days were really just a representation of the past and what had brought me there, and just the bad times, I guess, that have shaped you and made you who you are today. And I wanted that to be something that anyone can relate to, no matter who you were. And once you heard the song, it was like, whoa, that's something I can relate to. And I think that was the main thing about Dark Days.
Especially the first lyric, the past is like a story that we made up. I was like, oh, strong there.
Yeah, for sure. So the past is like, I think a lot of people like to reminisce on the past, and anyone who listens to my music or just knows me as a person knows like I'm a big superhero fan. And I think just talking about the past in different ways through different songs, it's kind of like, how should I put this? So the comic book villain, the Joker, right? He has this saying from The Killing Joke, and he says something like, if I have a past, I would like it to be multiple choice. So as kind of a nod to that saying, and it's just different ways of looking at it, I guess. And yeah.
Yeah, that line always stuck in my head too. Very, very Joker-esque.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Another question, especially with these bright sunshiny tracks like Cursed and Dark Days, is the singing tone that you used. When you were recording the vocals, was there any particular like method of singing that you tried to do to get the effect you wanted?
Yeah, kind of this like Quavo and Travis Scott sound kind of stuck in my head. Definitely like Quavo during like his Culture days. Although obviously the theme isn't quite the same, but definitely like mixing like a Juice WRLD theme, except it had like Quavo and Travis Scott singing on top of it. That was kind of the vibe I was going for. Since I'm like inspired by both like Atlanta trap, SoundCloud trap, lyrical, hip hop or whatever it is, I try to take inspirations of all of those things and just try to put it into one. And definitely Quavo and Travis Scott I heard on this track.
And well, you definitely got the effect you were looking for, and it sounds exactly like you'd want it.
Thank you.
Keeping the party atmosphere going, our next track is "Don't Leave" by Midnight Merc.
Saw you in my dreams again, what does this mean? Am I bad for wanting too many things? I'll be by your side, I'll be what you're wanting me to be. Who the hell am I without you, baby? Don't leave, don't leave. I just wanna hold you close to my chest. I just wanna see you hop off a jet. I just need to feel you here, nothing less. Baby, would you ride for me to the death? You know that I'm here and you love it. Girls like you are not a time a dozen. Told her come outside and meet me at the function. Don't you let them hold you down like a dungeon. I'll do anything but say that you're not mine. You're the only one to take away the dark side. If you're not okay, I'll try to make it all fine. Would you let me be the one to make it alright? And my friends gon' say I'm in too deep. Things I do for you, I do anything. Without you, I struggle, I can't breathe. All I ask is that you come back to me, don't leave. I just wanna hold you close to my chest. I just wanna see you hop off a jet. I just need to feel you here, nothing less. Baby, would you ride for me to the death? You know that I'm here and you love it.
You're listening to KCSB-FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara.
Don't you let them hold you down like a dungeon. I'll do anything but say that you're not mine. You're the only one that take away the dark side. If you're not okay, I'll try to make it all fine. Would you let me be the one to make it alright? I'll do anything but say that you're not mine. You're the only one that take away the dark side. If you're not okay, I'll try to make it all fine. Would you let me be the one to make it alright?
That was Don't Leave by Midnight Merc, who's our guest here for KCSB Spotlight Artist of the Week. The question I have for this song is a lot about the production. I know that you're mostly focused on the vocals, but definitely how you adapted to sort of the floaty, spaced out beat of this one compared to the much more, as you put it yourself, SoundCloud-esque beats of Cursed and Dark Days.
Yeah, so for this one, I definitely want to point out, I like to flex my, versatility, I guess. So I really like to dabble in different genres. And for Don't Leave, it was definitely more the R&B type. I think it's a little bit obvious, but I wrote this song, not too long after The Weeknd came out with After Hours. So there's a very heavy After Hours inspiration, especially if you listen to the song After Hours. So this one just was written almost right after that one. And the very first line in that song, actually, "Saw you in my dreams again, what does this mean?" is almost, it's like a template from the After Hours line, which is, "Thought I almost died in my dream again." So this very kind of spiritual, dream theme that kind of goes through the whole song, which is very similar to After Hours. And I wanted that inspiration to be recognized.
Oh, you got it. I think I just said that for Dark Days, but whenever you're going through these inspirations, we can definitely hear it.
Yeah.
With the stereo effect at the end, did you add that in yourself, or did you just try to adapt to it from the beat you had, and especially with the dropout right in the last 5 seconds?
I think that was mainly the beat, but I chose this beat because it had all of the vibes that I wanted to.
Yeah.
It was a little tiny detail, but in the beginning, the car door closing, I really liked that. And that actually wasn't even at the end. So I actually re-added the car door at the end to show kind of someone's actually leaving. After all of this, it's kind of like a what can you do thing. There's this hopeless, helpless element to it where it's there's still nothing you can do in the end, and that's kind of the falling out at the end of the song.
Yeah, for sure. If that was the end, let's hear what happens after the end with Haunted by Midnight Merc.
Damn it, why did it happen again? Wake up, I'm sweating these rivers again. Thoughts of you making me shiver, I'd lay here in bed. I dreamt you, I kiss me to death. I'm no good at being friends, but that doesn't mean you're allowed to come invade my head. There's a chance that I'm so bitter, but hearing your whispers are telling me y'all never rest. Get on my head, yeah, get on my head. I pray for a moment of silence, I sit at my desk. I sit at my desk and I'm thumbing through pictures I'm finding. I made him upset, alone is when I'm feeling light and she getting undressed. With him, so I reach where the knife is, laying them flat on the table, repeatedly stabbing the pictures. I don't need scissors, into the future they're shouting and calling us Mrs. and Mr. Same I just delivered, what in my head as that timeline disappears. I might just cut off my ears, cause I just gotta let go somehow to save me from hearing the things that I fear. I thought I killed our past, but the pain it goes too deep. I smile at your laugh, now I'm punching till I bleed. Your ghost, it follows me, it talks when I'm asleep. I'm trapped inside of your home, you're haunting all my dreams. What if I made some different decisions? You sit me down somewhere and force me to listen. I swore that last time levels forbidden. I'm reminiscing, there was something I'm missing. The words that you said like a message was hidden. But somebody give me some distance. It's been years since we were talking in person. If I hit you now, would you preach your forgiveness? I can't let go of the vision that we both be satisfied living the rest of our lives. I try to picture your faces expressing surprise. If I could just go back in time, how could I start to explain if you were only mine? I wouldn't lose sleep every night, making me red in the eye. This week I felt sick more than twice. Maybe I melt if you picked up the phone and you said that I love you, even if I know it's a lie. Guess I'm not like all the others you chose. What was so special about them? I don't know. Feels like you're testing my patience. You're watching me drown while you're sitting with him on the boat. Looking back, I like to think that I've learned a few things. Yeah, I like to think that I've grown. I thought I killed our past, but the pain it goes too deep. I smile at your laugh. Now I'm punched until I bleed. Your ghost, it follows me. It talks when I'm asleep. I'm trapped inside of your home. You're haunting all my dreams. Past is the past and we cannot change it. Gotta let go now. Happy for you, or you happy for me? Cause we're taking our own routes. Maybe I'll see you again when neither of us will expect it. We won't have to say a thing, but we'll think about a connection. A happy ending in the movies, maybe that would have been us. Maybe you're not really thinking like this and I just made it up. But I'm willing to bet that you also imagine the what ifs and maybes. Like what if we had us a kid of our own in a home full of safety. I thought I killed our past, but the pain it goes too deep. I smile at your laugh. Now I'm punched until I bleed. Your ghost, it follows me. It talks when I'm asleep. I'm trapped inside of your home. You're haunting all my dreams.
That was Haunted by Midnight Merc. First and main question I have about this one was the four bar chords that you had going as a vamp throughout the whole track. What was the harmony behind that? Like what chords were they?
Oh man, I'm not sure if I remember at the top of my head, but again, with the inspirations, it's definitely a nod to like NF type beats where I try to make it more cinematic sounding and use a lot of piano and the vocals, especially in the beginning. So that was definitely a nod to NF, and I wanted to create this like haunting presence, obviously, as the title states. But yeah, I don't remember the chords exactly, but yeah, this is also important because this was the first song that I've actually ever produced, and it was a little bit scary to me to actually put this one out in the first place because it was actually my own work. It's like, oh, will people notice the drop in quality because I've just started, but it was a risk that I was willing to take, and I don't regret it looking back. But the production on the song, it's a bit weird since obviously it's my first beat, but I'm definitely proud of how it came out.
It worked out great. You definitely got that spooky feeling with the sort of heartbeat, kick beat and the spooky choir effect in the background. Were those digital sounds? Were those like sounds you recorded? What was since this was the first beat you made, what was your process behind making it?
Yeah, so the choirs were sounds that I use Logic Pro. Those were sounds that Logic already has. Although I do often use like samples or something that's recorded from somebody else, obviously royalty free. But like, I'm not taking anything. Yeah. But so I just was going for that NF feel. I really wanted to go deep with this song, and just touching on like how it came about. I guess the hook, I wanted to keep the like melodical elements that I had in like say Don't Leave or Curse or Dark Days, but I really wanted to show off a little bit of like the lyricism and the flow switches with the verses. So that's why it kind of transitions between that deep and kind of skippy rap to that melodical singing, and just kind of blending the two styles together. And I just thought that went really well with the beat. So that's how that kind of came along.
Sure. I thought the kick beat in particular was really creative.
Oh, thank you.
It felt like a heartbeat, which fit the mood of the song.
Oh, actually, I hadn't even intended that, but I'm glad that came across. I always like to make stuff that you can kind of find something different each time. So,
all right, our next track is "Lost" by, you guessed it, Midnight Merc.
Lost it all, yeah. Now you're gone, yeah. All alone, yeah. This place, it ain't my home. Lost it all, I lost it all, yeah. Now you're gone, yeah. All alone, yeah. This place, it ain't my home. It's a long road, but I feel petrified. I let my chain hang, but I'm so stuck inside. Like, do I go move on without you? Cause I cannot stand this. Right, I see you when I close my eyes. Like, fuck this, give me peace of mind. I wanna turn the tables, get back what I lost, but damn, it's like I keep on falling down. I hate it, but it's where I am. No one caring if I say so. We be dreaming of Japan. Do I push them away? Is it my cold hands? Is it my cold heart? Do they care where I'm at? I know they chasing cloud, but I ain't about the cash. I wanna rise up now, cause I'm falling back. Yeah, we're the good guys now, we ain't turning back. They keep on looking back, I ain't about that. But they're so stuck in my head like I'm going mad. And now I'm lost at sea during this hard time. I gotta find my peace before it's gone. Lost it all, yeah. Now you're gone, yeah. All alone, yeah. This place, it ain't my home. Lost it all, I lost it all, yeah. Now you're gone, yeah. All alone, yeah. This place, it ain't my home. No matter what, it's never enough. I'm in a daze like a head rush. Let down your guard, don't be acting tough. And something ain't right, am I just too much? I need some space, I'm so scared of love. Give you a taste, you're the one I trust. Is it the right vibe the second we touch? The closer I get, the deeper the cut. It'll be okay, I told her it'll be just fine. As long as you come our way, make sure that we waste no time. Lost it all, I lost it all, yeah. Now you're gone, yeah. All alone, yeah. This place, it ain't my home.
That was "Lost" by Midnight Merc, who is joining us right now, or pseudo right now, considering this is all pre-recorded because COVID time, for an interview. I was really interested in the harmonies that you set up with this track and the multi-track vocals that you put in. What was I feel like I said, what was the process behind that so many times, but how did you make that happen?
It's all good. It kind of makes sense. All of my songs are made in different ways, so it makes sense that you're asking these questions. But there's a little bit of a weird story behind this song in particular. I had recorded this one actually around maybe 2016, 2017, and it just this was one of the first songs that I had ever made using Logic Pro and actually learning how to make songs, and it just came out terribly the first time I released it, and it kind of haunted me ever since. But so recently I had remastered it, and I had re-recorded all the vocals and did everything and just completely redid it. And so using the elements that I had, used from Dark Days or Cursed and all these new tricks, I thought would incorporate really well with this song, since I had decided.
You're listening to KCSB-FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara.
Place with the layering and the backups, and I really love doing backups that really pull you in without being too present. So that's kind of what I was going for.
Sure. I thought that the backups worked really well. Adding on to that, did you do any tricks with the stereo effect, like having some backups? I heard like more high backups in my left ear and more low backups with the right ear for the stereo effect.
Oh yeah. So a lot of times when I do my backups, again, I use like something called sample delay, where it does delay a little bit in one ear, and I'll sing it like a higher pitch or a lower pitch, and just pan it that way. So it gives the vocal a little bit more depth. It might be overused, but I just love that effect.
I think it's one of the effects that, works better the more it's used.
Yeah, for sure.
Similar to like the auto-tune slides back in the first song we heard, where if you do a little bit of it, it just sounds manufactured. But if you ramp it up to 11, then it gets a unique sound in it. And that's what you ended up doing, and I think it worked really well.
Yeah, even though I'm getting all these inspirations, I always like to add, a little bit of my own, just to give it that midnight twist. Like you listen to it, and it's like, oh yeah, this is midnight.
For sure. One more question about Lost. The reverb that you put on it. I think you put reverb, correct me if I'm wrong, on most of your songs, but you really layered it on, for lack of a better word, for Lost. I think really helped out with the effect. Is that a effect of the sample delay, or is that is that something you did on its own in addition to the sample delay you were talking about?
Yeah. So the reverb, I think it was something different, but for Lost, I definitely wanted to pile it on. It just to give it that bigger atmosphere, and I was already like mad at myself for like not nailing it the first time. So I just wanted to give it, a more like in your face feel. So it's like, I came back. But, and definitely like looking at the cover art, I don't know if you have seen it on SoundCloud, but this was also drawn by my sister, actually. He's working a lot on art, and like that smoke cloud in the background and the reverb along with the beat, it just, again, fit really well. But the big reverb along with the sample delay and the backups, it just all comes together to create one emotion.
That's the visual bonus there for the diehard Midnight Merc fans who know exactly. You can Google it, I assume. Yeah. Are there any other songs you remastered other than this one?
This was the only one that I had really did a complete redo of.
Well, it worked out.
Oh, thank you.
Our next track is Midnight Demons by Midnight Merc.
Shawty wanna stay in a place like mine. I'm tryna find the truth, you made yourself so hard to find. You came into my life, you woke me up to realize that I can't find my demons, I push that shit to the side. You make me feel dizzy, I'm shaking and I might black out. Got my heart racing, I feel like I am on track now. Coming too far down this path, I'll never back down. Something's in the air, I'm feeling like I'm in a trap house. The world had me in pieces, it's all dark and it's see shit. I'm all gone, you can keep it. Hold you close, you ain't leaving. I'm turning cold like the seasons. They switch on me and that's treason. All black time for the reaping. Knuckles bare, good, I'm bleeding. I always remember you're down for me. You're in my dreams when I sound asleep. You're almost too good for me to keep. I try my best to show courtesy. Honestly, ruin uncertainty. Darker the night and it's burdening. Rage in my blood and it's curdling. None of these feelings occur to me. Shawty wanna stay in a place like mine. I'm tryna find the truth, you made yourself so hard to find. You came into my life, you woke me up to realize that I can't find my demons, I push that shit to the side. Know it means Your every move, I'm a counter. Oh yeah, I think that I found her. Our movements are so precise. They wanna be us tonight. Slow it down and we look in eyes. Damn, she knows what I like. Take it down, I'm petrified. It's so easy to lose track of time. Yeah, you're one of a kind. Your love is a torture device. I always remember you're down for me. You're in my dreams when I sound asleep. You're almost too good for me to keep. I try my best to show courtesy. I don't say blue when it's certainty. Darker the night and it's burdening. Rage in my blood and it's curdling. None of these feelings occur to me. Shawty, you wanna stay in a place like mine? I'm trying to find the truth. You make yourself so hard to find. You came into my life. You woke me up to realize that I can't find my demons. I push that shit to the side. You make me feel dizzy. I'm shaking and I might black out. Got my heart racing. I feel like I am on track now. Coming too far down this path. I'll never back down. Something's in the air. I'm feeling like I'm in a trap house. Lay myself down. Yeah, I did that shit for you. If I got you by my side, yeah, I swear that I'ma lose. See you in the distance and I'm liking how you move. Don't wanna say goodbye to you. My feelings are my doom.
That was Midnight Demons by Midnight Merc, joining us here for an interview. And I'm particularly happy that we can hear the interview for this one, because I have a lot of questions about the lyrical components of this song. The meaning, the process, the way you set up a lot of the rhymes and slant rhymes. What was going on in your head, Midnight?
Oh, so interestingly enough, this was actually the first song. This song is actually really important to me because this one was, even though I didn't actually produce it, this was actually the first song I was actually like happy with. Like I would actually listen to it on my own time. And once I started listening to my own music, I'm like, damn, I can, I can actually do this, So Midnight Demons, I was writing this. This was on my Headspace mixtape back when I was in high school, and I was kind of still figuring out the music thing and just the vibe. But I feel like a lot of the vibes from this song, the dark, thinking about the past, things like that appear a lot in like say Dark Days, Curse, all these other ones. And it's just become a part of, the midnight sound, just thinking about past people that are close to you, trust. Again, it's a lot of like SoundCloud inspirations, but just a lot of lyrics that are talking about just people close to you. And again, something that's really important to me is that people can relate to it. So it was something that I wanted to dive into, but still keep a layer of mystery. Like in Dark Days, the past is just a story that we made up. Like it's not explicitly said like what happened exactly, but it's still general enough where everyone can relate to. Like everyone's had, someone that is close to you that can help you, say, fight your quote unquote demons, but maybe something happens to that or it gets too complicated, etc. So that's the vibe that I was aiming for there.
This is a shot in the dark, but does Midnight Demons have any connection with the name you use, Midnight Merc?
No, it actually isn't. It's funny you say that because for the longest time, I actually didn't even have a name for this song. I had written the whole song, not even thinking about what I should call it. So it was like the hook, I wrote that. I wrote all the verses and I was like, wait, what did I even call this thing? And I was like, well, there's nothing really in the chorus that like repeats itself. So I was like, it felt like I was fighting something throughout the song, like mentally. And I was like, well, metaphorical demons have just become a part of the song. It just came to me. It was like this epiphany moment. But yeah, it just came to me and I was like, well, Midnight Demons is perfect. The demons is a metaphor that you hear a lot in music, but something that you could be mentally fighting. And then Midnight Demons, because I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but a lot of times when it's like at night, you kind of start to overthink things. That's a little bit getting into Parasite, but just when it's at night, like your emotions start to take hold, and that was the inspiration for the title Midnight Demons.
Fantastic. Well, you mentioned Parasite for a second. I know we're typically talking about the songs after they play, but
Right.
is there any connection between this song and the next one we're going to hear, Parasite?
A little bit, yeah. It's just, again, that repeating theme of fighting something in your head that isn't physical. So just something that you're just mentally dealing with that is trying to take over it. And it's kind of personified, right? Like Parasite isn't like a real thing, but when you really think about it and you're kind of sitting there, like you're sitting there by yourself in the dark, it just, it starts to feel like a real person. And that's kind of the metaphor or personification that I was going for with both of these songs. Although Midnight Demons is a little bit more about fighting it with somebody that you care for, rather than Parasite is more focusing on the entity itself.
Let's confront our inner demons / parasites with Parasite by Midnight Merc.
Parasite inside my mind, it kills me from the inside. Give me my life, this road I'm walking thin as ice. This worse at night, you changing, how can I get by? How can I get by this parasite? Inside my mind, it kills me from the inside. Give me my life, this road I'm walking thin as ice. This worse at night, you changing, how can I get by? How can I get by this parasite? Everything's changing now. Nowadays I've been in with a different crowd. I dropped my last tape, so I've been around. I'm not pull up, we back in the business now. Maybe it's cause our future is clouded. I do not know what is happening next. Day by day, like who's really counting? All I know is I remember I'm blessed. In the dark of the night, I feel trapped in my mind. I feel myself slip away. I'm losing to this parasite. I'm bleeding, I'm giving myself the right to survive. Come on, stand up, you're never defeated. To prove to them midnight never dies. I got this parasite inside my mind. It kills me from the inside. Give me my life, this road I'm walking thin as ice. This worse at night, you changing, how can I get by? How can I get by this parasite? I got this parasite inside my mind. It kills me from the inside. Give me my life, this road I'm walking thin as ice. This worse at night, you changing, how can I get by? How can I get by this parasite? Sometimes it feels like I've been drifting on my own now. She wanna get with me, I gotta take my own route now. I'm up in this crazy loop, gotta stop. Every day feels like the beginning again. Wanna drop, they telling me calm, I know it's a lie. You saw me battle the demons I fought. I almost lost, feeling alone, well you're gonna talk. They telling me slow down and trust the process. Well, the process is holding me hostage. Don't change the topic, I'm bringing it back to the table of contents. And I'm getting off topic, after what happened, like look what it taught us. Look where it got us, you acting so reckless, I'd be more cautious. Got me in your pocket, I feel like I lost it. I got this parasite inside my mind. It kills me.
You're listening to KCSB-FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara.
This worse at night, you changing, how can I get by? How can I get by this parasite?
That was Parasite by Midnight Merc. And I'm going to begin with the obvious question. If we're supposed to know, what is the parasite? Is it anything specific for you, or?
For me, but before we get into this, also the cover art, if anyone has seen the cover art, shout out my buddy Sam who drew that. But yeah, so
another
Parasite.
Visual bonus.
Yeah, another visual bonus, exactly. So if you haven't seen it, it's on my Genius page or SoundCloud, Parasite, look it up. But so Parasite to me it was something, but for other people, it could really be anything. I wanted it to be adaptable for anybody to relate to, but Parasite for me was like a form of like depression or anxiety or, you know, a nervousness or a fear. So it was kind of a combination of all three of those, really, that it's just like something that is in your mind and it's so strong that it's just getting so hard to fight. You know, I got this parasite inside my mind. It kills me from the inside. So I thought of it as like this worm, like in your brain, that's just kind of like making its way, and like kind of like venom, I guess. But the hook kind of says it all, you know, give me my life. It's worse at night and you're changing. How can I get by? And just things like that, where it's like this thing's in your head and you're just trying to get it out. And the verses through the hook, through the bridge, is all about trying to fight it. But there's this fear that's like, you might not win that battle.
Sure. You definitely made it general enough for people to relate to, because I heard my own struggles with anxiety really resonate with this one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I think that's like a part of like the music that the younger generation is listening to. Like, I think because those elements and themes are so strong in, like, say, SoundCloud trap, where it's like, you know, Lil Skies, Juice WRLD, X, Lil Peep, you know, all those artists are talking about struggles and mental health, where it's just become kind of like a symbol of the next generation. And I feel like there's a reason for that. There's a reason why the younger generation are so attracted to those things. It's because everyone's really going through those things. And I just wanted to put my spin on it.
So I know you're a second-year student at UC Davis. I'm a second-year student here at UC Santa Barbara, where this station is represented right under Stork Tower. So when you talk about being universal, do you think there's anything different with the vibe at UC Davis versus other schools, especially as you were writing a lot of these songs in your dorm?
Yeah, funny enough, I did tour UCSB.
Ooh.
And it was very nice. Like, oh my God. But so shout out to y'all. But
we had it good.
Yeah, y'all have a great environment. But yeah, UC Davis, that's where I'm at. That's my home. So just so differences. I mean, our school is big, and your school is big too. But I feel like what people don't know about living or just being at a big school is like that. It's kind of hard to connect with people. I was talking to my friend Adrian about this. Shout out Adrian QMC, who also goes to UCSB. You probably already met him.
He was a guest on this show.
There you go.
Really good job.
But I was talking to him about this at one point, where I was like, dude, like I'm kind of feeling lost right now. And he was like, yeah, I totally relate. You know, being at a big school, it's like, it's hard, you know, it's going to be hard to really connect with people. A lot of time you'll meet someone and you could never see them again because the school is just that big, or you need help, but you don't really know where to go, and no one's really there to, you know, push you along. You just kind of got to do it for yourself, because there's going to be a time when you just feel like a number, you know? So I feel like those are the main components about being at a big school. Obviously there's ups too, but those were like the main things that I was focusing on when I was writing these songs, was the struggles that people could relate to just being at a big school.
You hit the nail on the head. I think this song works for anybody, whether or not you go to a big school. But yeah, if you're wondering, if you're not a student and you're wondering what life is like for us kids, this is a decent approximation of a lot of the more depressing stuff about it.
That sounds horrible. but I mean, it's kind of an ugly truth, but yeah.
Life is rough right now.
Indeed. I mean, look at the world right now. I guess it's just getting through it, you know.
I'm doing my interview thing, like nodding and and trying to do a good job with the questions. I'm realizing me nodding along to show that I'm interested and that I'm listening has no effect, because this is all audio. We're in separate places, separated by like 100 miles right now.
Exactly. It's really weird. It's just a weird place to be, but you know, we get through it.
Yeah. Good news to keep people from being sad. The good news is that, you know, global starvation rates and whatnot are still going down. So the world is still becoming a better place over like a century-long scale. So that's nice. That's John Krasinski's words, some good news. But yeah, it's going to be hard to feel.
Yeah, well, I feel like, you know, since you're inside, you know, more people would be listening to music or more focused on just the entertainment stuff. So I guess that's also a plus.
Yeah. Well, being inside, we can really make you restless, which is the title of the next song we're going to hear. Restless by Midnight Merc.
Got me restless tonight. Just take my hand, I'll get us through it, gonna be alright. Oh yeah, you got me restless tonight. Just take my hand, I'll get us through it, gonna be alright. I wanna know if it's okay to be down. I wanna know if you would help me up if I'm lost in the now. Got me restless tonight. Just take my hand, I'll get us through it, gonna be alright. Oh yeah, you got me restless tonight. Just take my hand, I'll get us through it, gonna be alright. I wanna know if it's okay to be down. I wanna know if you would help me up if I'm lost in the now. Got me restless tonight. Just take my hand, I'll get us through it, gonna be alright. Oh yeah, you got me restless tonight. Just take my hand, I'll get us through it, gonna be alright. I wanna know if it's okay to be down. I wanna know if you would help me up if I'm lost in the now.
That was Restless by Midnight Merc, produced by Telescape. Next two songs are another collaborator who we've had on this show, Telescape. I want to add a shout out to ZJ Del Mar, who was also on this show and also did a good job, but just doesn't happen to have any songs for this particular playlist.
Yeah, that's my bro. Shout out to ZJ Del Mar, my crew,
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all my boys. So yeah, Telescape, QMC, Del Mar. Yeah.
I know you guys are part of a collective,
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken.
In a way, yeah. So, we've been collaborating on a bunch of songs together. You may or may not have heard Dr. Escape, Move With Me.
Mm-hmm.
My mixtape was ZJ Del Mar, Nighttime. So those are all songs that we have been working on. And that was mostly just throughout high school, even though it's funny because I've known ZJ since third grade or something like that. So it's been a long road, especially for us. And we've been working on a lot of stuff together, and we will have more stuff in the future. So, stay tuned for that. But shout out to Telescape for doing a great job on this beat. I wanted to take, you might have already realized, wait, this is so different from all the other stuff we've heard. And again, that's just the versatility of it. Just to dabble in different things. So, so the beat, I just wanted to do a lo-fi song, I guess. And it actually started off with our buddy Han Saint. Shout out Han Saint. He goes by Two Swordsmen. And he had this little sample that he posted on Instagram. And he was like, hey, does anyone want to write on this beat? And then I was like, dude, let me on that. And then apparently Justin had already made a beat out of that sample. And he sent it over to me. I recorded it. It was one take. And that was it. And that was the song.
Efficient. Get it done, get it out. It sounds just as quality as the rest of it.
Yeah, that might be reason why it's so short, but I literally just wrote a little thing, and then he was like, oh, this is just perfect. And I was like, oh, okay, man.
Definitely has that lo-fi sound, especially with all the 808s with the previous tracks. One question I have about the vocals is with the slowdown right at the end, I'm assuming you pitch shifted the vocals down?
Yeah, that was actually all Justin's idea. So he was like, dude, we have this effect at the end. I was like, oh, whoa. I was like, that's weird, but I kind of like it. So yeah, that was all his idea. And I was like, wow, it actually, it turned out really good. It just helped to go along with that vibe, that nighttime music that was just kind of the theme of everything else that I was doing. So yeah, it worked.
It's like when your body crashes after staying up for too long.
Oh,
you
yeah.
won't be restless for much longer.
Yeah, it just feels like you're kind of drifting away, and that was the effect that we got.
Speaking of Telescape, our last track here, before the sign off is another track that you collaborated with Telescape. It's called Vulnerable, Midnight Merc and Telescape.
I'm so stressed, I'm so anxious, need some rest, need a break, take a breath, being fake, it's quite the test. Let's be leaving my life or I hurt you, desert you, believe me my love gon' hurt way more than words, you deserving of nothing but crave the attention. You tell me you love me, I start second guess, I'm VULNERABL to the E. She told me that she loved me and so I fell down to my knees. I'm better than this and I settle too quick and I let all these devils dishevel my shit. I'm a vessel for pain, rebel in vain, my heart and my brain they cannot coexist. I feel like a bitch but I act like a shit and I ask myself if that's what confidence is. I feel like I'm Bojack, I feel like I'm Rick. Don't mean to be rude, don't mean to be a dick. I'm usually happy but inside my head there's a little voice and he really wants me dead. I tried to avoid all of my problems but they coming back to me, dodge them again, bitch.
So I hide my pain and it never shows. I'm dead inside and never know. This hate got me running with the gun smoke. I bet they don't play with the cutthroat. They might go to rain and I hate it when the sun's showing. Invisible ties and I wonder where the love go. Always on my own but hey let's ride. Here with someone else when you say you're mine.
That's why I stay inside, I make the sacrifice. Oh yeah, I love the dark, so I might kill the light. Where is your loyalty? Cause I can't trust your lies. Pretending I'm okay, so you can feel alright.
That was Vulnerable, a track written by Midnight Merc, sung by Midnight Merc, and produced by Telescape. This is the song on this track that I have heard before because we've played it before. I've said his name like 20 times in the last 10 seconds. for Telescape on his set with Yidamar. What was your vocal process behind this track and is there anything you do with switching up how you produce or how you work when you're working with your collaborators rather than working alone?
Yeah, it's really weird. It's kind of a weird process because usually I feel like I'm the one that's kind of adapting myself to whatever style it is that they're doing. So this is actually off of a little EP that I did with Telescape and Kyle, so KYD, who did, the vocals on the beginning. And this song's funny because like a lot of people, when they mention my music, they'll mention this song. Yeah, it's kind of weird because I feel like I had to adapt to the style a little bit. And I think this beat was originally for Kyle and I was kind of humming along to it and I found this melody that I really liked and I had sung it a couple different ways and Justin was giving me some tips on different ways of doing it and we kind of found the spot where we thought that it really worked. And I tried to bring along those like auto-tuned elements, like some of those Travis Scott elements I used for my other songs and put that into this vocal in some way, but maybe a little bit differently. And it sounds a little bit different, but it definitely works with the vibes.
Anything else you want to add before you go?
Yeah, I'm actually working on an album right now. So it'll be my first actual album. I'm trying to produce the whole thing. It's like I'm trying to learn all these things. So I'll be writing it, recording it, mixing, mastering, producing. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And also ZJ Domar and Telescape also got their EPs/albums coming out. So definitely look forward to that.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Midnight Merc, everybody. Very good music.